Wipers on, brains in gear, final race of the weekend, Cedars versus Ryle Harris. A couple of young guns here on the front row. How will they deal with the wet weather?
Well, Harris has got a very good jump there, but he's lost traction, so here comes Doctors trying to come through. Is that Grant Johnson up the inside? He's actually got the best start of a lot of them, so here it's very nervous. We've seen the tyres before, as you can see the car's sliding. Now, this was a dry track when they left the dummy grid, so they've not seen this water on the road before. And have a look at the water. The cars are moving around everywhere. I'd be very nervous out there at the moment.
Remember that Utes don't have a wet weather tyre. They run on a treaded tyre in all racing, so it's a bit of a compromise. It's not a slick, but it's not a full wet.
And over the course of the weekend, the tread depth has obviously gone down a little bit, so to actually get rid of that standing water on the road is going to be very, very difficult, but he will see the experience coming through.
Cedars to the lead. Johnson, remember, started fifth, is through to second,
Johnson,
but he's run wide.
And he's run wide, so you're going to see a lot of that over this first few laps. The tyres are cold, and look at those lines, and I can tell you from experience, those painted lines are very slippery.
They are your enemy. Century Batteries in-car with Ryle Harris. You need to straddle them. You don't need to get a tyre on them.
You can't. Even when you're trying to accelerate, you get one tyre in, you turn through the corner here. Look at the rivers running across the middle of the road. It is going to be very dangerous out there. As Kim Jane's got that Commodore sideways. Look at the action.
Oh, I've got to be so careful.
You're on cold tyres, you can't see. The vision's really bad. You can see Grant Johnson dropped a couple of spots there.
And got a whack from Craig Donis as well.
And trying to get on the power, the cars are slipping and sliding everywhere. Everyone's very nervous and trying to see this road for the first time in these conditions.
Back aboard with the young Queenslander, Ryle Harris. Chris Pether's on the move. The Kiwi is starting to charge. He's doing his first full year of the Australian Ute Championship. He's never done, would you believe it, a full year of racing here. He's always missed around here or there. He'll be a factor this year. Here's Cam McConville, and he's got a problem. Have a look at the left front. It's not stopping it, it's not steering.
Oh, luckily he's pulled that up before he has to go on the track. Reverse gear. That's something we don't normally see, but you can see there,
there's
he's
no grip.
Not getting a lot of traction. So obviously he's got a bit of a problem. Can't see what it is. Maybe it's a brake issue.
With the way that this weather is, that might not be a bad call to get out of it. Nevertheless, extreme clutches in car with Craig Donis, and I've got a feeling we're going to see some extremely sideways driving.
And the problem is too, that rain's actually getting a little bit heavier, so as the actual puddles on the circuit start to develop, you can see Charlie O'Brien there. All you do is touch one of those white lines, and it's so nervous on a street circuit. You've got to try and keep it clean. The camber of the road changes, the surface changes. It's very hard to pick what's actually going on. You can see the sideways action from Charlie O'Brien there. Trying to get on the power, sliding, understeering, oversteering, locking a brake.
Auto 1 replay at the centre chicane, and that's Ben Cabbage. Just snags the wall. That could have been way worse.
I think he got away with that one. He's very, very lucky.
And also on the Auto 1 replay, this is a change for the lead actually. Ryle Harris down the inside, Cedars a little bit wide, and the young Queenslander goes on through. And now Cedars is under pressure from Pither, Johnson and Craig Donis as well. And Nathan Pretty's loving these conditions because he's got a car that's a little bit down on engine power. This is perfect for him. Jack Elsgood, Stephen White off to the left, having a one-off run in James Brock's car, former fellow young Lion.
Yeah, Stephen's obviously done a lot of racing in Europe. He's back now having a go at the Ute category, but you can hear Jack Elsgood there trying to get the power down. The Ute's doing everything it can. There's not a lot of weight in the back, and in these conditions, very, very difficult. He's got a bit of a run on White here. Will he sneak up the inside? There he goes. So a little bit of a run, that's enough to be able to get through. Although Steve White's not going to give it up easy. Now it's a matter of getting the power down.
Is he in there? Could you see through the fog window?
That is one of the problems in these types of races. The front windscreen tends to be clear, but you can't see out the side. You can't see in the mirrors. You can't see behind. So racing's very, very difficult. As you come through the wet chicane area, you've got two wheels on the bitumen, two wheels on the painted surface, so it's very easy for that car to snap. It'd be like driving on ice at the moment. These tyres, they'd be so worn down after a weekend's worth of racing, so there's not a lot of tread depth on them. They're like a slick tyre in these conditions, so it'd be very difficult for these guys.
And this part of the circuit, it's all second gears. Oh, that's close. Nearly in the fence at turn 8. And now that leaves Pither diving for the gap at turn 9.
It was enough, wasn't it? It's a little bit of a slide, and Grant Johnson wants to buy into this argument as well. So Pither's got down the inside. He's got through. You can see Grant Johnson trying to get the power down. Really starting the outside. Yes, he does. So he managed to pull that off as well.
So really interesting, Bugs. The fastest car in the dry conditions isn't necessarily the fastest in the wet.
Well, he might have been using his tyres up over the weekend a little bit more. He's got the most out of them in those conditions. But we get to a race like this, and tread depth is what it's all about. If you've got the tread depth there, you'll be able to get rid of that standing water and generate some grip. So he might be on a completely dry setup. Some of these other guys might have gone for a bit of a wet setup, gambling on the weather.
Well, what do you do? We talk so often about dry setup, wet setup. What do you actually change when it rains?
Well, things like tyre pressures can play a big play in that. They obviously play a role in that, depending on whether you think it's going to rain or you don't, depending on which setup you go for. And in these conditions, it's trying to get that tyre to crown a little and have less of a footprint on the road, which causes less of a chance of that aquaplaning, which is very important. Oh, you can see the sliding. That's what I talked about. You get 2 wheels on the black stuff, 2 wheels on the painted stuff, you're in trouble.
Auto 1 replay. Ben Dunn losing the rear at turn 4.
Bit of handbrake slide there.
Yeah, not too bad. It is wet, wet, wet on the streets of Adelaide, and Grant Johnson is on the charge. He wants to lead in race 4 of the Auto 1 V8 Ute Series, and Jason Barguana, I think he's going to get it.
Well, Aaron, he set that up coming through turn 8. You saw the little bit of overlap that he had on the exit, and he's used that, and we've got Sears down the inside of Pither as well. So this battle's going on right through the field, but out in front, Grant Johnson, he just trying to get the power down Dantas. There's Pither. He's got a bit of a better run on the exit. As you can see, the rain's actually falling a little bit harder now, so that'll make it very interesting these last few laps.
Commentary box is nice and warm from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, exactly. So that rain, what it's going to do, it's going to start putting a little bit more water on the track, more standing water, which these Utes aren't going to like. It'll be, now they've got a bit of tide temperature, though. It'll hopefully keep these blokes out of trouble.
David Cedars, third in the race. He's on target to win the opening round of the championship. Grant Johnson, the Doritos Commodore, is out in front. Pither in 4th. Craig Donis in 5th.
Well, there you go. As they say, the cream rises to the top. So the guys with the experience, the Ute racing experience, they know the tyre, they've done a few laps, and now here's a great shot. Obviously, Harris doesn't have one of those heated screens in the car. You can't see. It's very difficult to find. Oh, a bit of braille driving here, and he's run off down the down into turn 3. So he's obviously got back on the track there, but it's very difficult to see when the screen fogs up like this, I can assure you that.
You've got to be so careful through these second gear corners where it's so easy to line up the rear tyres into wheel spin. That's what Pither's doing there. Auto 1 replay. Stephen White challenging Jack Elsgood, but not for much longer.
And he's done the same thing. So once you get out of the bumps, heading up to that braking zone, it is very easy to lock one up and spear straight ahead. You can see now the spray's getting a little bit worse. That rain is coming down even harder now, which is going to make this even more challenging when the guys trying to get through. Baxter on the inside of White. He's managed to pull that one off nice and cleanly.
Ryan Hansford having a pretty good run, has moved from the Fujitsu V8 Series into the Utes this year and is running around with Charlie O'Brien. That's great to see, of course. Charlie and Ryan's father, the late Greg Hansford, were teammates for so many years and great friends, and Charlie's taken a bit of an interest in the Hansford boys and their careers.
So it's great to see him out there having a great battle with Baxter, with Charlie, with Jack Elsgood. So he's mixing with the front guys, the guys with the experience. But these conditions, they're very... Oh, look at the water spraying all over the road. And one of the biggest problems is obviously vision. You can't see out the front, you can't see out the back. You've got to try and drive, understand where you are. There's that rain coming down.
But isn't the vision on the DBA in-car in Jack's car so much better than what we saw with Roll Harris?
And that's it's obviously this. Through the chicane, the car slides all over the place. Look how slippery it is. The water sitting on the road, the rain pelting down. And Jack's obviously got a bit of a clear vision out the windscreen with a heated screen in the car. That's what we run into V8 supercars. So it helps in these conditions to be able to see, and it's so important. Look at the rain that's coming down now. Oh, this is going to be scary, especially when we get to turn 8. We're going to have some problems up there because it's so slippery. There's a bit of a river running across the road, so hopefully they get through that area safely.
We have to take it very, very steady on the penultimate lap of the final race of the weekend.
It's been a while since we've had rain here in Adelaide. It was back in around 2000. I ended up on the podium that year, and it was so slippery up through this part of the track. The way the camber is, you're trying to find... Oh, look at that. You can't even drive in a straight line. It's that slippery. So when you get to turn 8, you can't really see. You've got to drive a bit, slow it down. Find them.
Oh, I was about to say yellow lights were on, and that's why. Kim Jane, the fast-track Commodore, is in the concrete. Oh, and look at the massive crack in the screen. That's been a big hit.
Yeah, he's obviously gone to the wall hard there, trying to pull it off. So I'd say he's gone into turn 8 by the looks of that. The damage on the left front of the car and the flat side on the Commodore Ute. So unfortunately for Kim Jane, that's the end of this tape.
Let's have a look again. Auto 1 replay. Oh, bang! That is 4 tons of concrete, meaning
move the ball.
a Commodore Ute that's less than 2 tons and concrete wins. Oh, that's a big hit.
That's what I talked about. Turn 8, you're at such a high speed, you can't really see. And look at the water standing on the road. Bang! Look at the
shift
those concrete blocks.
He's actually hit it right in the join bargs and moved 2 blocks in 1 hit.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, that section of the track, isn't it? So there's Grant Johnson. He's just praying to get the end of this one.
This is not a V8 Ute race. This has now turned into a V8 power boat race. You've got to be so careful. This is like the old days of the F1 Grand Prix. There was the shortest ever F1 World Championship race was held here, and I've got a feeling that not too many of these Ute boys are going to make it home.
Actually, look at that concrete wall on the exit there. Hopefully we can get some guys through this without hitting that wall, because it's now at a more 90 degrees to what they're actually approaching at. Look at the water coming out from under that car. That's what I talked about, the tread depth. Oh, we've got another one in the wall as well.
Cedars in the fence, and he was on target to win the round.
That's turn 8 as well, so it's,
that might have gone out the window, Barks. He might... Oh, look at this, the left front's hanging off it.
He's going to try and get that to the finish. We've got another one in the fence. That's Nathan Pretty. There's bits of car everywhere here. So slow down, guys. You've got to get through this corner. There's stuff everywhere.
Oh, I don't reckon he's the last one either, but Grant Johnson, this is going to be a win. 1 corner to come. And you know what this is? This will be his 30th V8 Ute Championship race win. He has won more championship races than any other driver in the history of this championship, and this has got to be one of his best.
What a great result from Grant Johnson. Experience has paid off, and he has shone through in these conditions. We've got cars going everywhere.
Brian Hansford in the fence, Ben Cabbage to the grass. It's never over till it's over. And David Cedars is limping home.
There's a great example of the tyre we talked about. You can see how much tread there is. There's not a lot there, but he's going to make the finish line.
He's going to make it, and not only is he going to make it to the finish, he's going to be 7th place, and he's going to win the round.
What a great result. He's going to drive home on 3 wheels to win the round, pull the car over and get out and spray the champagne.
Great job from David Cedars. Not the way he'd want to win the round, but nevertheless, you take them how you can get them. Grant Johnson takes the race win, and this is how it happened on the Auto 1 replay, and that was nasty. He was the first one in too.
There's another one in. There's that concrete fence I talked about.
He was the first one in after Jane hit it when it was bent.
So it's already in a position where... there's another one in the same spot.
Oh, Reece McNally, Stratco Commodore. And does he end up in the other fence? He was going pretty quickly. Nathan Pretty,
same problem. Oh, that's done some serious damage, hasn't it?
And he has not made it back to the start-finish line. Massive damage on the Monster Commodore. But Johnson wins. Roll Harris, great drive all weekend, second from Craig Donis. Els Goodnight and Stephen White rounded out the top 10. But Johnson picks up the race win, and that's a solid start for his championship. He's 4th for the weekend, but he's aiming for that 3rd championship.
So from your perspective, it must be a great feeling to have come through on a crazy day like that.
Yeah, well, we were actually doing a rain dance for yesterday as well, but that didn't work, so a few of the more boys started doing it for today. And you're just driving to the conditions, to the grip level, and that's what I really like about racing is driving to the maximum of the car. We've struggled with straight line speed all weekend. The motor's 2 years old. We've got an engine sponsor, so we have a new engine for next round, and hopefully we can do it in the dry as well.
So 1 round down, and David Cedars leads the way. 2 points clear to take the opening round of the year from Roll Harris. Chris Pither rounds out the podium from Grant Johnson. Jeremy Gray had a good weekend to finish in 5th. But who would have thought that you'd win a round in the V8 Ute Series with a wheel hanging off the front of your car? That's exactly what David Cedars did, and he gets his championship quest off to the perfect of starts.
What's it feel like to win the round after all of that? Must feel like you've earned it.
It's been a big mission. Like we've got a target this year of a championship, and that's our main goal. And new lap records, 2 race wins, pole position. It's just been awesome.